With the new Arcanes we can get from Descendia, a lot of frames have been indirectly buffed thanks to this, and one of them being Protea. And honestly, I do have a fun build to show you. Now, with that being said, let's go over the mods and why we're using them. So in the R, using Growing Power, easy to keep up, don't need to think about it, and a nice way to boost our ability strength. Prime sure-footed so we don't get knocked on our ass, and we can be like, nah, fuck you, knock back. Stretch for ability range, overextended for that range again. Umbral Intensify, because it's a nice way to boost our strength again. Now, we do not want precision. You can use normal Intensify, but precision and Archon Intensify do not work for the build. Archon Intensify, we need to restore our health, and we're not doing that. And precision's mainly for the 4, but as you can see, we're using the 4 mainly for an armor strip, and it's not our main focus, and already sits at 91% reduction. So we don't really need it. You can if you want to, but I don't recommend it. We're using Prime Continuity for the duration, Blind Rage for the strength, Archon Vitality for the heat procs, because our turrets do heat, and we're mainly focusing around our turrets. Adaptation, just in case if something goes wrong, we have that, just an extra layer of defense. Equilibrium for our dispensary, because with our dispensary, it gives us energy and health orbs. With equilibrium, it will decide what is useful. So health, energy when we need it, energy into health if we need it. We're mainly spamming energy anyways. You know how equilibrium works. Now, we're using Arcane Ice Storm. You're probably asking, why are we using this? But I'll go over that in a second. And then we are using Arcane Concentration for ability duration, which with Protea is key. Now, to keep Arcane Ice Storm going, we're using one of the newer Arcanes called Melee Korean. Melee Korean, roll into our enemies within a 5.5 meter radius. They stay frozen. And this cools down every 2 seconds. So we're using this to keep up Arcane Ice Storm, and we don't have to think about it. All you need to do is like dodge into your enemies and throw down your turrets. And armor strip them when you see fit. Now, to go over the weapons, I would recommend a grouping tool, but you don't have to. Completely up to you. Any melee with Melee Korean would do good, and any primary weapon for when you shoot an accolade in the face. Most likely violence. For shards, I'm rocking 2 red tile shards for duration. You do not have to have these tiled, but personally, I just like having all my shards tiled. And then I'm rocking 2 blue shards, also tiled for energy. Mainly because we don't have flow on this build, and I want Protea to have enough energy just across the board. And then I'm also rocking a corrosive stat shard, but this will be a flex slot. The only reason I have this here is because I have multiple other builds on Protea, so this will be a flex slot. Now, you could switch this out for another red shard for like strength or more duration, completely up to you. These shards are not like set in stone. You can use whatever you want. Dealer's choice. If you want to use a Helminth ability on Protea, Helminth over her 4 because it's the most useless ability. I've never found Tumble Anchor super useful. I personally use Pharaoh Strike on her for the armor strip. Now you can use Nourish, Eclipse, Roar. That's what you can use on Protea, but those are the main ones I would recommend. I know it's super boring, but they're super effective. Let me give you the premise of this build while we get energy. So, the premise of this build is to dodge roll into your enemies, make them more susceptible to crit by freezing them, and throw down our turrets. This is a way where we can just room clear as fast as possible.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke
but yeah,
you
no.
out.
So I'm just using like the Proboscis Serenus for a grouping tool. So we'll dodge roll and then throw down our turrets and then kind of just clear them as fast as possible. Now this will be quicker with a grouping tool, so I would recommend running one. but you don't have to. It is completely up to you. When I initially was running this build on stream, I wasn't bothering to group them all up. I was just dodge rolling into them. It's really up to you, but grouping them up will be 10 times better. But completely up to you. So by freezing them, we can just keep going, keep getting energy. We can throw orbs down when we need to, you know, shield gate and whatnot. And we have an armor strip ability, which you do want to use every once in a while. It does just make killing people out easier and faster.
Prepare for
but I'm personally too lazy to do that. And if you run out of energy, that's kind of your own fault, like it was there for me. Because you have dispensary. You should never be running out of energy with Protea with dispensary. You know you're doing something wrong if that's the case. But yeah, no, this is a very, like, new player-friendly build, I would say.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Very, like, it's something you need to adjust for. Let's be real. We're all used to, like, running, gunning, not really thinking. But this is more button press me. But once you get it down pat, you're, like, good to go. Now, with acolytes, you can clear an acolyte with this build, but mainly due to weapons. The reason I say that is, it does take a bit for our turrets to even do anything. So, yeah. Keep that in mind. But yeah, no, my proboscis isn't doing anything but just grouping them. Makes for easier kills. Now, any grouping tool would work. So, whatever feels good to you, I recommend rocking. But yeah, no, being able to armor strip group, make them more susceptible to crit, so handy. Basically, it makes Protea a lot stronger than she used to be. Like, Protea wasn't strong as Fran, but she's just gotten stronger thanks to this. Which I, as a Protea main, do appreciate. But yeah, no. So, the premise of this build, let's just go over it. Really simple, group, armor strip, and dodge roll into your enemies. Now, any order works. It's really just whatever makes you feel safer and comfier. We're still waiting for this acolyte. But yeah, just keep an eye on your energy and shields, since you can shield gate at will if you have energy. And dispensary will just give you an endless supply. And with equilibrium, we won't have to worry if it's just a health form. And we dodge roll. Dodge roll again. Group you up. You're already grouped up. Now, here's an acolyte. This is why I would recommend bringing a weapon, as this is gonna be a oh, it's violence. Oh, fuck. Alright. Well. Dodge roll. Armor strip. Dodge roll. Throw down turrets. Now, my turrets are doing the work, but with violence, it's a little tricky, since violence turns off abilities. But you can do it by just armor stripping the acolyte, slowing them with a dodge roll, thanks to melee Korean. And turrets. But yeah, no, that is the build. That is the build for Protea. She is one of many frames that have been buffed with this new update. then honestly, just new Arcanes. New Arcanes always spices up the game for older frames, newish frames, and old-ish frames. But highly recommend picking up a build similar to this or just making your own. Now, let me know how you go. Let me know your thoughts on my build, and hopefully I'll see you next time.